Yeah. Too bad I can't drive it. Alright, well, if you guys watched my shifter install video, when I went out to test my truck after I put the new shifter in, it slipped really bad going into third gear. And then about 2 days later, I could barely even get it home from work because it was slipping so bad. I was really close to the house, so I just went ahead and drove it home and parked it. So I got to pull the tranny out to get it fixed. And Dad knows this guy is going to do it for us. The only thing is he's on vacation right now, so he'll be back I think the 17th or 18th, and we're going to drop it off on the 18th. That's about 10 days away, so we don't need to pull it out yet. So we're leaving the transmission in the truck so we can move it around in the yard and in the driveway, because it still works. It's just I can't drive it. I have a couple other things that I'm trying to get lined up to do to my truck right now. And now my cat's walking in my engine bay. It needs rear end gears really bad because I have 308 rear end gears. It's just bad. They're not, it's a pig. So I need to get my new gears. I also want to lower the truck. And that right now, I'm still deciding on whether I'm going to use a lowering kit off of this parts truck that we have over here, or if I'm just going to buy a new kit, because I don't know if I want to change out all the suspension on 2 trucks at the same time, because I'd have to put my suspension back on that truck, and because that way it can roll around. It's a parts truck, we're going to need the suspension back on it. So I've been working on my turn signals for some reason. I don't know how long, it could have been a couple months. I was driving, I didn't have turn signals, and I don't know why my turn signals stopped working. It may be something to do with when I was putting the new wiring harness in, but I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. But everything's there still for all of the turn signals, so I don't know why it stopped working. But so I gotta fix that issue. I just replaced a bunch of bulbs just to make sure that I'm good there. But I do need to figure out why my turn signals don't work. I need to raise the shifter up. I want to mount it higher. So I want to get all of this stuff done before it gets cold outside for sure. So within the next month or 2, I would like to do as much as I can to this truck, because we're in October now, and it's not going to be very long before it starts getting cold. And oh, also I had to fix my tack. So I put the tack in my truck a few months ago after I did the wiring harness, and when I got it all working and everything put together, and then I put the dash back together. I didn't do nothing else. I just put the gauges in and put it back together, and it didn't work. So I found out what that was, and I'll actually show you guys real quick. So basically I have my ground hooked up right there, and it works as a ground right here on this bolt, but it doesn't work good enough, and I didn't know that. I actually had a tester that I hooked up to that as a ground, and then I checked my positive, oh, right here. I checked to make sure that positive was working, and it lit up and it was working fine. So this ground over here does work, but it was real fidgety and didn't work that well. So I learned something new about C10s. I love these trucks, but I never knew this. So that blue connector right there is the ground for my tach. And I didn't know that C10s have this factory location under the dash for grounds. Okay, so now I have my tach working because the ground is connected. And also the speedometer wasn't working because this cable wasn't hooked up all the way or something, I imagine, because I've hooked it up a few times and it's always worked. I mean, the mile an hour is a little bit off, but it's always worked, and I just got to make sure I get it hooked up this time. It's just really hard because once you get the gauge cluster in there, it's really tight and you have to reach way up underneath. Tach does work, but it reads about 300 RPM lower than what it should. There was a spider in my truck and I killed him, and now he's stuck in my windowsill. I can't get him out. Okay, so my idle's set to like, I think 800 RPM, and so it was reading 500 RPM. I think that is mostly just because it's a cheap tach. Because I've tried to adjust it, I've tried to figure out how to adjust it. There's nowhere to adjust this tach, and it was like $60. I was being really cheap when I bought it, so I'm gonna have to probably just spend more money and buy a new tach, because I've tried everywhere. I've looked up instructions, I've looked at the paper instructions that I got with it, and I've asked people who have the same tach, and I can't figure it out, and no one else knows. So if anyone knows how to adjust it, let me know. But there's no screw on the back, there's nothing inside of it to adjust it. I've taken it apart, I cannot figure it out. So I think it's just because it's a cheap tach that it just tries to read whatever RPM it thinks it's reading, and it's reading it wrong. Okay, so this brings me into my next thing. I definitely need to buy some new tires here pretty soon. These wheels were on the truck with a lowering kit, and I wanted them, so I pulled them off. It's just sitting, so I'm not driving it, so it's okay. But I'm gonna have to get some tires here pretty soon as well, just for the rear. The ones up front are trashy, but they're not as bad as these. So this truck just has a spring flip kit. So I'll probably just take the suspension off of this truck and put it on my truck. But the only problem is it's gonna be kind of a pain because I'm gonna have to do this truck and my truck, and it's gonna kind of suck doing two trucks suspension because this one still needs to move around and be a roller. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Brief summary: transmission's gotta get fixed, waiting on the guy to call us, then we'll pull it out. Well, we'll pull it out before he calls us, because we got to have it ready for him. But we'll pull it out, give it to him, he'll fix it, put it back in the truck, it'll be running great again. Got to get rear end gears because that is something that bothers me. I really just want rear end gears in this thing super bad. Needs to be lowered because every C10 looks better lowered, so that's coming. Don't understand the blinker issue. That's, I don't even know. And then I got the tach fixed. Speedometer will not be a problem. It's just got to snap into place. That's got to get fixed. That's kind of a list of things that I got going on with this truck right now, but hopefully it'll be back on the road again, driving soon, and I'll get to make a lot of fun videos with it. And I definitely will be making a lot of cool videos with this truck. So there's an update video for you guys. Like I said before, I'm just waiting on the builder to be ready to take the transmission, and I'll be posting a video on that when the time comes. I just wanted to get this video out here to you guys to let you know what's going on and what my plans are. And if you didn't see what happened to my transmission, go watch the last video I posted of my shifter install. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also wanted to say thank you. I got about 5 new subscribers, and I really appreciate you guys' support. So until my next video, I'm gonna fill this thing up with power steering fluid and act like I'm actually working on it.